We welcome you to downtown Houston, where the Astros will reside for the next 11 days. They take on the Chicago White Sox in the first of a four-game series. This is the longest homestand of the season, and we'll head right into the All-Star break. The Astros starting the night 26 games over 500, a game and a half ahead in the AL West, and the Chicago White Sox are exactly 26 games below 500. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, an 11-game homestand going into the All-Star break. Sounds like a good chance for this team to get on a roll.
It's a great time for us to unpack, finally do some laundry, but these guys have got to be happy to be back home. They played great last homestand.
They really did. And in our Shiner Box Spotlight, we're going to focus in on the last time the Astros played the Chicago White Sox. That was a lot colder back in April.
Yeah, the weather has changed a little bit, and the smart teams build roofs over their stadiums like the Houston Astros have, and it's a great time to be here. These guys can swing the bat. We will not see Carlos Correa, maybe not for a couple days, but hopefully by the time this homestand is over. But Josh Reddick is a guy who really lit it up along with the Astros. And in those 3 games out there in Chicago, they average 9 runs a game. That is a .321 batting average. The OPS at 945. A lot of guys driving the ball out of the ballpark. And this is a good team for the Astros to face, because if they get wild outside the zone, they create traffic. They make mistakes in the zone, they pay for it like they did last time in Chicago.
27-2 in that series. When we come back, Alex Bregman finished off that last homestand with a bang, as the Astros had 3 walk-offs in that last homestand. Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. When we come back, Julian Morales will join us and tell us how Justin Verlander, despite a couple of shaky starts, still is at the best of his game this season.
Justin Verlander on the mound. The Astros look to continue their winning ways here recently, and like I mentioned, Justin Verlander gets things going. He's having a great season so far, and if you remember, he was having the best start to his season. He had his best April and then getting pitcher of the month in May. So what does that mean for the rest of the season? Well, he's continued that so far, and this guy's had some really great seasons in his career. So we started to compare numbers to maybe 2011. All he did was win the AL MVP along with a Cy Young Award that year. He's the subject of our Old Dominion Bringing His Best. Look at the comparisons here. The ERA is actually lower, and this is after a couple of tough starts that he's had recently, jumping that up. The whip, the exact same, well under 1. Strikeout to walk ratio is up this year to 6. And the opponent average, eerily similar there, 184 in 2011, 183 in 2018. In 2011, earning that pitching triple crown, leading in wins, strikeouts, and ERA. So like I said, we're going to see what he does in 2018, and recently has had his struggles. 3 straight losses, 9 earned runs over his last 2, and hasn't been able to get into games well. That's what he's struggled with recently. Also, hasn't had that best breaking ball for him. He was able to make an adjustment, a mechanical adjustment in the 3rd against Tampa. That actually helped him with his location, but he was going to work on some things in his bullpen, come out. He's going to need that breaking ball tonight against the Chicago White Sox team that he actually knows pretty well, but it is a struggling team that tends to chase. So that's the key for his success tonight. Like I mentioned, for White Sox, it's a team he knows well that he has pitched against over his career. He's done really well here, at least recently. 6-0, dating back his last 11 starts. I'm going to set the guys up in the booth for more on JV against these White Sox.
Great stuff, Julia, and I agree. That anomaly we just saw in Tampa Bay may be the small blip on a very good season for Justin Verlander. His last 11 starts you see against the Chicago White Sox. He is 6-0 with a 2.34. And I completely agree with what Julia was saying about Justin Verlander and the off-speed pitches. Usually those secondary pitches, the curveball and slider, are the wipeout pitches. He pitches high in the zone with that fastball, creating swing and miss, but also changes the eye level, setting up that down and away slider or down and in slider that he's developed over the season. I expect him to get back into form, and the Astros had a lot of success against the Chicago White Sox team, so this should be a good feeling for Justin on the mound.
Verlander part of that 27-2 whitewashing of the Chicago White Sox back in April at U.S. Cellular Field. His start, the Astros won 10-0. He was outstanding in that game, going 6 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. Here's the lineup he will face today, with Yoan Moncada leading things off at second base, followed by Yolmer Sanchez at third. Jose Abreu bats third and will play first base. Avisail Garcia has been red hot for the White Sox. He's in right field. Daniel Palka has done a nice job for the White Sox in left. Matt Davidson DHs. Omar Narvaez is behind the plate batting 7th. Leori Garcia, the center fielder, hits 8th. And Tim Anderson will play shortstop and bat 9th. The defense behind Justin Verlander tonight. The Astros will have Josh Reddick playing in left field, Jake Marisnick in center, George Springer is in right. That's the defense that AJ Hinch likes the most in the outfield. Yuli Gurriel is going to get a start at third base. Alex Bregman shifts over to shortstop tonight, although he'll play on the right side with the first batter due up. Jose Altuve is the second baseman. Tyler White gets a start at first, and Max Stassi catches Justin Verlander tonight. Brian McCann on the DL. He has caught most of JV's starts as an Astro, but Stassi's also done a nice job behind there for the 35-year-old right-hander. The 11-game homestand is underway, and Yoan Moncada takes a called strike. Round the bunt, Yuli was charging in just in case Moncada decided to put a bunt down.
I think that was Moncada's way of saying hello to Yuli.
Yuli's still stretching over there. He's played a few games over at third base, has not really been challenged too much in his starts over there. Verlander quickly ahead 0-2. Now Yuli, with the bunt out of play in theory with 2 strikes, goes all the way back to a deeper shortstop position. Verlander has started against the Chicago White Sox 43 previous times in his career. This is up and away. It's 1-2.
Just a little bit different looking club than what Justin Verlander is accustomed to seeing on the south side of Chicago. Much younger.
We've seen a few of those teams recently that are trying to figure out who they are going to move forward with. Saw that in Kansas City as Moncada goes down swinging. Verlander 4 pitches in, picks up his first strikeout of the night.
I think early on it's going to be Justin Verlander trying to establish that fastball and establish it up in the zone. Young teams like the fastball and they have a tendency to chase, just like you saw him do to Moncada right there.
Good firm 96-mile-an-hour fastball above the hands, and here's Yolmer Sanchez. Sanchez has struggled, as you can see, against Verlander in his career, 1 for 13. This is that first pitch. Coming off those last 2 starts, the 6 2/3 against Toronto here at Minute Maid Park, allowing 4 runs. At that point, it was his career high in hits allowed as an Astro with 7. And then following that up by giving up the most hits he's allowed as an Astro and the most runs against Tampa Bay in 5 innings. Curious to see how he was going to come out tonight, and I don't think the White Sox are going to enjoy what they see. I think Verlander gave up a few hits early in that Tampa Bay game that maybe weren't the hardest hits that came back to get him. But he's not used to giving up back-to-back starts the numbers he gave up, at least in an Astros uniform.
Yeah, we're definitely not used to seeing that. But he's human, and he also makes adjustments.
The comparison was interesting with Julia pregame talking about that 2011 MVP and Cy Young season as Sanchez goes down swinging. Did not have a very good swing at that pitch, and Verlander has 2 quick strikeouts.
Well, and that's that slider down and in that we're talking about. Mattress Firm Supermo gives you a good look at the delivery, and then the location down and in, just a wave at it by Yolmer Sanchez. It's a little bit of a disconnect between the brain and body when you see something that nasty.
2 batters, 2 strikeouts, but now Verlander takes on one of his nemesis throughout his career, Jose Abreu. Abreu takes a strike, but not many guys over Justin Verlander's career have had better numbers over extended at-bats than Jose Abreu. See the average near 400, 5 home runs, an OPS of over 1,300. In 38 career at-bats against Verlander, but tonight Verlander pounding the strike zone early, and he's quickly ahead of Abreu 0-2.
Well, we saw fastballs early to Moncada and Sanchez. And I think that little bit of that history that you're talking about, Todd, is why he's gone to the slider early on to get ahead 0-2.
This one, he reaches out and sends a fly ball towards Springer in right. And right on the line, and right field makes the play for out number 3. Strong start for Justin Verlander. Airline. right, at the very top, George Springer leading things off. The Astros have 5 consecutive right-hand hitters. In fact, only one lefty in there against the left-hand starter. Alex Bregman bats second and plays shortstop. Jose Altuve, Yuli Gurriel, Evan Gattis. The lone lefty, Josh Reddick, Tyler White, Max Stassi, and Jake Marisnick round out your lineup.
Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Chicago White Sox. Recently activated off that disabled list, had some issues with that bicep and shoulder, and in 5 starts this season he has a 1.18 whip, 22 strikeouts in those first 5 starts. Usually a high strikeout guy. He will pitch to that glove side, which is the inside corner to right-handed hitters.
First pitch swinging is Springer and sends one to right, where Avisail Garcia makes the play. 1 pitch and 1 out for Rodon. Garcia looking up in the roof, making sure he can see the ball clearly. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman carrying .279 batting average into this game. You see what he's done during a 9-game hitting streak. He has been red hot for the Astros. Over the last 9 games, over the last 18, over the last month plus, as he was player of the week and player of the month.
Yeah, he's done a good job in those 9 games. The average and the peripherals are going to look great, but that OPS really gives you an idea that he is doing a good job of laying off pitches outside the zone. And when they do get in the zone, he has 5 home runs in those 9 games. Had himself a good road trip, considering what we've seen from some other guys in this lineup.
Yeah, he carried a couple of games for the Astros in terms of scoring runs in the middle 2 games of that 4-game series in St. Petersburg against the Rays, as he accounted for all 4 runs with a couple of 2-run home runs. Throw in the dirt by Anderson, but scooped nicely by Abreu at first. And Bregman retired by less than a stride. So Rodon has a couple of quick outs in this inning. And now he will face Jose Altuve. Altuve 4 singles and 13 at bats against Rodon. It's like whenever these two match up, Rodon's able to get Altuve to put the ball on the ground. This year, though, the 25-year-old's been giving up more fly balls than ever before in his career. 47.3% fly ball rate, by far the highest for the left-hander with the White Sox. Blummer mentioned in his scouting, tends to work that pitch glove side and has been able to get in on Altuve in their head-to-head matchups.
That pitch right there is one you see too often. 10% of the time you see that changeup. He just threw one in that 0-1 count to Jose Altuve.
Now he misses well outside, 2-1. Last pitch was at 86. Was that another
changeup? Yeah, doubled up on it.
So a pitch he hardly ever throws. He throws back-to-back to the reigning MVP, and then he challenged them with a fastball. And that was a great swing by Tuve. It's 2-2.
He got a good swing on it because he knew it was coming. A couple of changeups out off the plate, and we talked about how the scouting report says fastballs in, sliders in. You know, in a 2-1 count after missing with 2 changeups, he's going to try and come right back inside.
Almost hit Altuve with the slider at his feet. Now the count's full. Not sure how Jose got out of the way of that.
Nimbleness and fear.
Just underway on a Thursday night. White Sox for 4, A's for 4, Tigers for 3. That's how the 11-game homestand shakes out. And a 3-2 fastball away. Rodon allows a walk here with 2 outs to Jose Altuve. Here's Yuli. Yuli had a nice couple of games against the Rangers, 3 for 8 with a home run and a couple of RBIs. Altuve on the move, and a foul off the bat of Gurriel. Jose picked it perfect time to go. He had him timed up well.
He's feeling frisky.
Kind of a walking lead, it looked like.
He has a tendency to do that. Altuve is unique. He's not one of those traditional base stealers that gets out to a set lead and then goes. He just kind of casually kind of hangs out over there, almost standing straight up, but he'll take some baby steps and then just take off as soon as he sees that first move.
Yuli, very aggressive hitter, and he grounds one towards center field for a base hit. Astros with 2 outs, a walk and now a single. Yuli keeps pushing that average back up towards 300.
Real shocker to see Yuli staying up the middle. 91 might have been a little bit of a cut fastball from Rodon. You can see in that pull shift that they're playing against him, gets it through there easily.
Now here's Evan Gattis. Evan has moved all the way up to a tie for 6th in the American League with those 57 RBI. And Rodon starts him off with a changeup for a ball. It's 1-0. Popped high in the air, playable. Abreu drifts into foul territory and now makes the play for the final out of the inning. Couple left on. We head to the second.
MC Max Stassi back behind the plate. 39 starts this season. 0 errors. One of the more unique plays, the 2-1 assisted we saw earlier in the season, but doing a great job behind the home plate in relief of Brian McCann. Now with Brian McCann on the DL, you're going to see a little bit more of Max Stassi, and it's good to see him healing up quickly after that hit by pitch in Arlington. But we've seen him block some good baseballs, call some good games. Some good pop times too. Gunning out Rougned Odor out there at second base, so Max Stassi is the man behind home plate for the Houston Astros, probably from here on out.
Yeah, he'll be the #1 catcher, if you will, with Brian McCann on the DL, as Avisaíl Garcia leads off. Good to see Stassi back after missing just the 1 game on Wednesday in Arlington. Had to leave the game early on Tuesday. I think Federovich did a nice job filling in for him. Here's a called strike to Garcia. And it's 1-1. Stassi, with all those other accolades, also does a nice job framing. And he and Salvi Perez in that group with at least 20 starts and no errors so far on the year. Verlander has been ahead of every hitter tonight. It's 1-2. Verlander struck out Moncada, struck out Sanchez, and Abreu flied out to right. Garcia tried to hold up, but he goes around. That's one of the hottest hitters in baseball lately who did not look good on that swing. 3 strikeouts early for JV. Julia, what do you have?
Well, JV looks fresh, but he flew in early yesterday. It was a slower start for the Astros today. They did play just up the road in Arlington, but a late night of flying and traveling and getting back home. So it was just optional BP for the club, and AJ's done that several times this year and doing it again today. A later report time for these guys, including the last 2 games. They're going to play 13 straight up until the All-Star break. So today, with that later start time for everyone, gave a chance for these guys to catch their breath and just kind of reset, see their families for a second before this last stretch before the break.
All right, Julia, here's Daniel Palka. Good to see a shot of Julia without dust flying around her head.
Oh, man. She such a trooper to begin with, but then the elements just took a step to the next level in Arlington. That dust blowing around.
1-1 to count to Palka. As hot as it's been since you've been on a trip?
That was the hot. Yeah, it was ridiculous up there. 105 that first game in. And that's just what the thermometer said. I can only imagine what it was like on the field.
Do you even do a JMI on the broadcast when it's that bad?
No, we let Julia do whatever she needs to do to stay right when it's 105 plus on the field.
In a dust bowl.
Yeah.
2-1 to Palka, misses high and inside. It's 3-1. First hitter Verlander has fallen behind in the count. Swinging a foul tip. It's 3-2.
We've got StatCast, and it is powered by AWS. There's some of the hit tendencies for Palka.
Didn't put that one in play. Foul tip caught by Stassi for the strikeout. Palka goes down for strikeout number 4, the first 5 hitters for Verlander. Fastball looks good tonight.
Looks extremely good. And that was a great pitch for him last time out. The secondary pitches let him down, but really trying to establish that fastball early on. We actually had a conversation when Kevin was in the booth. We were talking to AJ, and AJ said he likes it when starters go out there and establish 1 or 2 pitches early on and save some of those secondary pitches for later in the ball game.
Well, Verlander strolls off the mound casually after another strong inning. 2 strikeouts in each.
And Julia hit a high note in Tampa. Alex Bregman heats up July, and Tony Kemp is wired for sound. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Friday at 6 p.m. only on AT&T Sportsnet.
We go to the bottom half of the second. You can hear the woos already, which means Josh Reddick leads things off. Back-to-back games with a home run for Reddick, getting the job done in that series against the Rangers. Last time he went for a home run was against the White Sox prior to those back-to-back games. Back on April 21st, and now he faces the White Sox again here. First week of July, he's 2-0, ahead of the count on Carlos Rodon.
Got that home run yesterday off of left-hander Mike Minor.
White Sox shift Reddick. Not every team shifts Josh, because last year he was the best at beating the shift. Nobody had a better plus minus in the shift category than Reddick. He's got that swing that allows him to just send balls to the left side of the infield. We saw it in the postseason against the Red Sox. We saw it in that series against the Rangers.
I think what makes Josh so good against left-handed pitching is that front shoulder. He doesn't fly open, so he's still able to cover the entire plate. That's a good time to move it out of the way.
3-2 the count. So fastball up and in on 2-2 would make you think he's going to try and go away, maybe with a slider here at 3-2. But Reddick likes thinking along with the pitcher as well. And he gets a called third strike.
You don't need me.
Every once in a while. Julie, what do you got?
I've got the TXU power player here as Tyler White comes up. We're going to flash back a couple years. Carlos Rodon pitching against the Astros gave up 2 runs that day, and they were 2 solo home runs off the bat of Tyler White. And I asked Tyler, I didn't even really need to remind him of this, because when I asked him about that game, he said, oh yeah, May 17th. So it was fresh enough. I'm guessing he had been watching video, but it was fresh enough for him to remember. He remembers striking out in that first at bat, getting to a 3-2 count, looking for a fastball, got it, hit it out, did it again in his next AB. So he'll be looking for the fastball again today, guys.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get to the hitter's count. 3-2 and 3-1 pitches he sent over the wall over there in Chicago. Now it's a 1-1 count. Tyler getting a chance to start again. 4 for 18. Does have 5 walks during that time. And he takes the slider first strike.
Well, to yours and Julia's point, he's seen 3 off-speed pitches so far from Rodon. Baseball players have long memories.
There is the fastball sent towards right center field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. Rodon got ahead 1-2, but Tyler White able to put one into right center field for the Astros' second hit. He's a 1-out base runner.
Not trying to do too much. And what I mean by that is he didn't try and turn on that fastball in, just fights it off the label. That'll take a lot of the velocity off it when you don't hit it on the barrel like that, yet it can still end up being a base hit.
I'll bring up Max Stassi. At the beginning of the year, Stassi was setting the world on fire facing left-hand pitching. He was hitting about 500 for the first month plus of the season. Still has better numbers against lefties, but that number has calmed down since the beginning of the year. Stassi hitting .317 against lefties versus .205 against righties.
And again, it's good to see Max in the lineup after getting hit pretty hard on that right wrist. There was a little bit of concern with Brian McCann going on the DL the same day, but he bounced back pretty quick.
Julian mentioned with the 2 games yesterday in this 11-game homestand, 13 in a row going into the break. Got to think Stassi's going to play at least 8 or 9 of those games going into the break. So Verlander gets him as his battery mate tonight. Stassi will be very happy to get that all-star break, although he's been playing very well, leading all AL catchers in slugging percentage and OPS this season. Two pitch slider, swing and a miss. He's able to get a couple of strikeouts both on the slider in this inning. And there's 2 away.
That's what Rodon does to get those strikeouts. It's early this season, but the K per 9 dropping a little bit for Carlos Rodon. Previous seasons right around 9, almost 10 last year. But early to start this season at 6.7 strikeouts per 9. A lot of it has to do with that pitch right there, that slider.
That slider's a big weapon for him as Jake misses the first one. It's 0-1. Jake continued to climb towards that 200 mark. You see what he's done over his last 18 games. Jake has faced Rodon 10 times. He's 1 for 10 with a home run and 3 strikeouts. To shallow center, and this one's going to drop in for a base hit. Couple of hits in this inning. Neither one hit extremely well, but they found the right spot in the outfield, and the Astros have 2 on with 2 outs.
Another fastball in on the hands. Jake does a good job of just muscling it out there to center field. Little drop shot. And even though George has been mired in a pretty healthy slump, you still want to see base runners on base when that lineup gets back to the top. Because when George Springer snaps out of it, there's going to be guys on base and hopefully some damage done.
George takes a called strike. George has been not only battling this extended slump, but he's been hitting into some tough luck during this stretch too. Catch by Grichuk that robbed him of a 3-run home run. A couple of fly balls to the wall during this stretch. Fouled away. It's 0-2. George is currently in a 2 for 31 and a more prolonged 5 for 69 slump. One to 2 the count. Rodon making just his 6th start of the year. Started the year on the DL, rehabbing that left shoulder injury. Had arthroscopic surgery on that left shoulder at the end of last season. Foul at the plate. Springer stays alive.
Got a little bit of everybody. Sticking with that slider down and in. Call it the back foot slider. Mattress Firm Supermo is going to give you an idea. Down and in, he fouled it off that back foot. So you see something interesting. That's that axe handle bat that George goes up there with. George is number 4. There's a number 27 on the bottom of that bat. It's good to mix it up. Not a bad idea to pick up number 27's bat either. Usually he gets those shipments that a lot of other guys ask for, the ones with hits in them.
Julie will have more on this a little later with somebody that stole Springer's bat. 2-2 pitch is a check swing foul. So was this bat being used in Texas the 2 games I missed, or is this the first you've seen of it?
It's the first I've seen of it. But we did have an opportunity to make fun of Miguel Tejada in comparison to you and your pens. Miguel Tejada is a guy that would come down to the dugout with about 10 bats, usually one from everybody's bat locker, much like your pen assortment.
I don't steal them. Swing and a miss. Down goes Springer. So the Astros have left 2 on both innings. We will head to the third. Brianna Hughes will join us next. Astros have threatened a couple of innings and have not put across the run. We are now joined by Brianna Hughes to talk about this longest homestand of the season, Brianna.
We could not be more excited.
Yes. And it all kicks off tonight with the end at 11 o'clock Central of the All-Star vote.
Yeah, and we are making a big push here for, especially Correa and Yuli, who are really close, Bregman and Springer. So we really want this to be an Astros game. We're proud of our guys. They work hard out there, and we feel really strong that we can get them out there. So, go to astros.com/vote. Get out there. You can vote 5 times per email address. I like to include, right? So
get those burner accounts out.
Just in case you have multiple.
Exactly.
Just saying.
You might have your work, you might have your personal, just get out there and vote on each one of them.
So Correa's made a good push on Machado at shortstop, and Yuli's made a good push on Abreu at first. And tonight Verlander was able to get Abreu, and Yuli had a single. So
yeah, they're making a good case for it, right?
They're making a good push.
Yeah.
There's how far behind the two guys are. And again, tonight 11 is the end of the voting. For those fans that are voting for the All-Stars, they also may want to come out here to one of the games, certainly against the White Sox because it's the weekend. And $11 you can get in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tickets start as low as $11 for the White Sox series. Yeah, so, head to astros.com/promotions. Check out some of the really cool things that we're doing. And it starts off tomorrow with our Astros socks that we're doing here, presented by Houston Methodist. So 10,000 fans will get that as they come into the gates tomorrow.
Summer's a good foot model for those.
Yeah, have you seen the video yet?
I have.
You have?
Yep, showing it off to everybody.
Yeah, it was
the
great.
The socks, not my feet.
It was fun, trading in your White Sox for Astros socks.
That worked out well.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime.
I would say Blummer's sock game is right up there amongst the best in baseball. So what do you think about these?
Oh, these are going to be phenomenal. I love the stars on them. And the colors are going to be amazing, so I can go with multiple ties.
He even asked, when we were shooting, he was like, can I take these home? I was like, that's my
only pair. I'm going to walk out with them.
Got my eye on him.
So that will be socks
tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, 10,000 fans. We'll get that as they come in through the gates.
So that's in addition to all the other big and bright Friday night stuff.
Exactly. Friday nights, we're always encouraging people to get here early, stay late. We've got our happy hour. We've got fireworks at the end. We've got our Strozone fan section. So lots to do around the ballpark if you're coming here tomorrow. So check out tickets and come out and join us this weekend.
Next day, there is the old gym bag.
Yes.
World champion gym bag.
Yes, we've got our world champions mark on there. And this is, we've done this gym bag here probably since I've been here, at least the last 5 or 6 years. So it's a good staple. People enjoy it. It's practical, and it's a good quality gym bag. So 10,000 fans will get that thanks to our partners at Methodist, Houston Methodist. So come out to the game on Saturday, and then rolling right into Sunday, we've got a really exciting lineup for kids. So if you are a child, definitely come out to Minute Maid Park on Sunday. Get your parents to come out here. We've got Kids Day presented by Exclusive Furniture, and we are doing an all-kids giveaway for 7,500 kids 12 and under. So they get this Altuve replica jersey. It's a youth size jersey, so it is catered to our young fans, and it's a youth extra large. So 7,500 fans will get that, and then it's Kids Day. So we've got a bunch of activities.
Are you sure they're kid jerseys?
Thanks, Julia. Great modeling. It fits her like a glove.
That's going to be a popular item.
Yeah.
And that's strictly for kids.
That's strictly for kids. So yeah, a couple of things on that. It's for kids 12 and under, and it's for ticketed fans only. So a lot of times we get questions about, can my 10-month-old get it?
Out at second base, Omar Narvaez. George Springer with a great play and a great throw. Narvaez looked like he was going to have a leadoff double after an extended at bat.
Springer, get him into the All-Star game, right?
There you go. Just another attribute we can pin on George Springer. We know he's athletic and can swing the bat. He's struggling right now at the dish, but he doesn't let that affect him on defense. Strong throw. How about the way that Alex Bregman dressed this up also, kind of playing it casual. Then a quick catch and tag to get the catcher, Narvaez.
How about, but that
Man.
that was a really, you're a middle infield guy. That was a really nice job by Bregman to try and wait till the last second and pretend like we've got no chance.
Yeah, got a casual double, and all of a sudden you're out.
You played that game before, right?
Yeah, it's good. Kind of stand straight up, not anticipating the throw. It gives that runner the impression that there's not going to be a play. And by the time he goes into his slide, panic ensues.
Narvaez's foot was bouncing all over the place. Even if he would have beaten the throw, I think he would have come off the bag. Well, we had a live model there with Julia modeling the Altuve jersey. So as you said, ticketed.
So yeah, ticketed fans only, and then you must be present to receive the item. So, we really want to make sure that these get into the hands of the kids, and so just keep that in mind as you're coming to the ballpark. Gates will open at 11, so it's a little bit of an earlier start time, or earlier gates open time, so keep that in mind as well.
And we do not want anybody showing up any earlier than 8 o'clock, right?
Correct.
That would be the earliest.
Correct.
To show up.
Correct.
People get here super early.
Yeah, they've been lining up. We've got some really awesome fans who are excited about our giveaways, which we love. And so, just for everyone's safety, we want to make sure that you're not here too long. Now, with it being a 1 o'clock game, it's, a shorter time frame. So just keep that in mind, 8 o'clock. But then with Kids Day, we also have really fun activities happening around the concourse. We'll have face painters, all pregame, but face painters. We'll have caricature artists. We'll have balloon artists. And then in Union Station, we're actually taking over, and we're making that like a designated kids zone. So we'll have inflatables in there. We'll have some activities, coloring stations. So, for families that are wanting to come out, we've got a lot of really great activities to do, leading up into the game.
All right, taking over Union Station with the kids that day.
Yeah.
And then we go forward to the Game of Thrones night and a special ticket package featuring Charlie Morton, the ruler of the realm.
Yeah, ruler of the realm bobblehead. So this one was a fun one to create. This plays off of, the World Series Game 7 win that we had and him closing it out and, dominating over the Dodgers. And we had fun with this one. So it's our annual Game of Thrones night. It's Charlie Morton on the throne. And it is a special ticket package, so it's not a gate giveaway. I like to remind fans of that, but it is a special ticket package. It is available if you have a game ticket. You do need to have a game ticket, but it is available for just $30. So come out to Game of Thrones night, you get a game ticket, and then you can also get this bobblehead. So, and then we have the throne here. So the throne will be present from the set of HBO, and fans can take a picture with that. No special voucher required or anything like that, but through the 7th inning, fans can rotate and come and take their seat on their own throne.
I remember last year, Game of Thrones throne was here. Mm-hmm. I think the line was unreal.
It was, yeah. So there's some footage from it last year. I mean, people had a great time with it. It's pretty massive in stature, so it's a fun one, and people, we'll have a photographer there. You can take pictures. We'll take it on your phone and just keep everyone moving through the line. So it's a popular activation for sure. So we're excited to bring that back this year with this really cool bobblehead.
All right, so to recap, tonight until 11, vote
Get out there.
Often.
Yes, vote often. Find those
Please.
email addresses from, the deep darks.
I like it.
Yeah, get out there and vote, though. In all seriousness, we really want to make a push for our guys.
And then all the promotional items over the weekend, and then Games of Thrones coming up during the next series. As always, Brianna, thank you.
Nice
you guys.
work.
Thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
Chevy Stroll poll. We're on Twitter. You probably are too. Follow us at ATT Sportsnet SW and vote which Astros hitter is poised to have a big offensive homestand. Alex Bregman, Josh Reddick coming off a great couple of games, Jose Altuve, or someone else. Let us know. We'll reveal the results later in the broadcast. TK.
All right, Julia, a lot of people have already voted. Speaking of voting for the All-Stars, a lot of people have already voted on the Stroh poll. Some good choices there. You can write in your own if you don't like those three up on the screen, as Alex Bregman leads off and takes a pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Bregman grounded out to short his first time up. Astros with a walk and a hit in the first inning and a couple of hits in the second inning. Carlos Rodon has been able to get through the first 2 innings by stranding 4 so far. And that pitch catches the edge. Alex didn't think so. It's 1-1. When Bregman usually doesn't think it's a strike, it's usually not. Todd Tichenor calling balls and strikes tonight. That one down and in. It's 2-1.
Yeah, his record on knowing which pitches are balls and strikes are very good, as opposed to his replay reviews.
Yeah. Catcher was set up not quite out there, and Tichenor got that one right, and then the same pitch is called a ball, so maybe Alex made his point. 3-1.
Turn around, you know who I am, right? Player of the month. Get my player of the month zone.
I've got my zone down. That one is chopped towards third on 2 big hops. Sanchez makes the play. Bregman retired for out number 1.
No Player Does More is presented by HEB. Jose Altuve, 9 games on that last homestand, and he lit it up. Been having a tough time here at Minute Maid until that point. Lighting up Minute Maid for a .429 batting average, a multi-home run game, scoring 10 runs. That OPS well over 1,000, which is a big number in 9 games. Just a little bit of a welcome home party for Jose Altuve, looking to try and do that here with an extra couple of games on this homestand.
Yeah, maybe the script will flip with Altuve. We just saw him come off a road trip where he usually dominates on the road, and he was just 4 for 24 on that trip. Maybe here at home he'll start to get heated up and keep those numbers a little closer together. It has been heavily weighted to his road numbers the last couple of seasons. As Rodon messed with the changeup, he threw a couple of changeups to Altuve last AB. It's 1-1. Altuve, 12 straight starts here at Minute Maid Park, has a base hit. 2-1. Altuve's drawn the only walk of this game. And he's got a 3-1 count here. Ball 4. Rodon's been pretty much around the plate to everybody else, but he's walked Altuve twice. Thought that last pitch was a strike at 3-1.
Yeah, I would imagine the top portion of the zone against Jose Altuve might fluctuate a little bit just because of the size.
Here's Yuli. Base hit his first time up. Altuve tried to run on the first pitch last time of the AB. Yuli fouled one back to the screen. Altuve looked like he had the base stolen. And then on the very next pitch, Yuli would ground a single into center. Altuve and Yuli had a little conversation about that, going back to their respective positions, as Altuve now can talk to Yuli on the way to the third as opposed to not seeing him when he stops at first base.
Yeah, it's tough. You want to steal early in the count to give a hitter a chance, but Yuli is so aggressive early on. And just something you notice right here, Carlos Rodon, those aren't good moves to first base. That might be a little bit of the book on Carlos, and that's why Altuve got such a good jump last time. But it's tough for Altuve to steal early because Yuli wants to swing early. He wants to attack the fastball early, and I'm sure if you ask Yuli, what are you looking for with Jose Altuve on first? The fastball. So if he gets it, he's going to attack it.
Oh, no, and we expect that almost from Yuli.
Absolutely.
And those guys are such good friends. Altuve could probably say something to the effect of, if you would have taken the first strike, then I would have given you an RBI.
Yeah, and your numbers go up with runners in scoring position.
But, yeah, it's hard to keep Yuli down when he sees a fastball to his liking. But now it's 2-0.
But it goes to this ball club, too, that they're able to have the conversation with each other just to make them better at scoring runs.
Free-flowing conversation. A good thing as you see Altuve's stolen base numbers, the best on the team. Up and in now. It's 3-0 to Yuli. Rodon is so worried about Altuve on first. He has not thrown a strike to the aggressive Yuli Gurriel.
Well, Rodon seemed like he was frustrated in walking Jose Altuve, and now he's frustrated having him at first base, not being able to find the zone.
4-pitch walk to Yuli. Back-to-back walks for the Astros for the third straight inning. They have a couple of runners aboard. Well, Brianna was just telling everybody to vote for Yuli as he keeps shrinking that lead for Abreu in the voting at first base, and what they have done since June 1. See why Yuli's maybe cutting into that voting lead for Abreu.
Yeah, a couple of countrymen going at it to be that first baseman in the All-Star game for AT HOU. Since June 1st, it is heavy on the Yuli Gurriel side. La Pena putting up some good numbers.
While the voting ends tonight in exactly 3 hours, the starters and the reserves won't be named until Sunday night. AJ Hinch obviously will be very involved in that process as they make the announcement Sunday as to who will be on this year's All-Star teams. Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis popped up to first, his first time up. Batting with the same combination on base, Altuve on second and Gurriel on first, and he fouls one back.
Good swing, and I like the pitch selection too. A couple of walks coming into this AB for Evan Gattis, and he sat on fastball in the strike zone, and he got a good one to hit, just fouled it off.
Evan 4 for 9 in his career against the White Sox left-hander. Breaks his bat and just has a little piece of the bat in his hand, the handle, and he flips it to the dugout.
Wow. That is some violent destruction. That was a check swing from Evan Gattis, by the way. He was not trying to swing fully.
Wow.
That is force on force that created that broken bat. Wow.
The piece of the bat that was left in his hand wasn't even enough to hold it with his right hand.
No. Yeah, on that replay, it kind of looked as if part of it came flying out from in between his fingers. Well, he looks like he belongs in Game of Thrones. At the end of that swing, he had a weapon to use in it.
We've mentioned it before, whenever he breaks a bat, just a thing of beauty. Grabs a new piece of wood, doesn't put anything on there, grabs it with his bare hands and goes.
Yeah, he just says thank you and goes right back to the box.
No pine tar, no stick. Just a piece of lumber in the bare hands of Evan Gattis. Now down on the count, 1-2. High foul ball goes through the rafters and actually hits the rafters twice. This is like Pachinko, and drops foul, but could not have been caught. Once it hits the rafters in foul territory, it's a dead ball.
That was fun. Watching that replay, you honestly have no idea where that baseball is because Tim Anderson's going towards the seats and Yomer Sanchez is going another direction.
No chase in the dirt. It's 2-2. Astros coming off a 3-3 road trip, losing 3 out of 4 against Tampa Bay and then winning both games against the Rangers in Arlington. Taking on a White Sox team that has lost 2 out of 3 on each of their legs of this road trip. Recently losing 2 out of 3 to the Cincinnati Reds. Broken bat towards third. Sanchez has it to second for 1, and the White Sox able to turn a double play. Third straight inning that the Astros have had 2 runners on. Third straight inning they have not scored. Park, including Kids Day, an Altuve Youth replica jersey, and a Verlander K-Counter bobblehead. Visit Astros.com/promotions for tickets and a full list of events. We would be busy this year with that K-Counter for Justin Verlander. He's up to 150 on the season with 6 tonight. He starts off Yoan Moncada with a called strike. That's now 8 out of 10 first pitch strikes for Justin Verlander tonight.
There's our StatCast powered by AWS, and this is the most recent 100 batted balls put in play by Moncada. See, up the middle of that pull side, and that's why you see that shift employed by the Houston Astros.
Astros always very aggressive playing the percentages, and for the second straight time now, Yuli will back off as Moncada is a threat to bunt. And once they get to 2 strikes, Yuli will start to go back to the shortstop position. The reason the Astros play the 3 on the right side, you saw the percentages as Moncada fouls one back. So Bregman and Altuve are in the red zone.
It's a good place to be. Yuli covering that other 18%.
Breaking ball staying up and away. It's 2-2. Verlander, first time through the lineup, allowed just the 1 hit, struck out 6, couple of pop-ups, 1 to right, 1 to third base. And the single was wiped out before the next batter. Narvaez tried to stretch a single into a double and was thrown out by George Springer. Down and in. Moncada somehow with a take. It was a good one. It's 3-2. Moncada pops one high in the air, left side. Yuli the only one over there. And he puts it away for out number 1. Verlander making his 19th start of the season. Mentioned the 150 strikeouts, and Julia compared his numbers from 2011 before the game when he was MVP and Cy Young Award winner. After 19 starts that year, he had 138 strikeouts. So he's up to 150 plus whatever else he amasses in this game. It's 1-0 to Sanchez, who he struck out his first time up. The ERA better this year. The pitches per inning the exact same. Made his 19th start of that season, the Cy Young MVP season, exactly on this date as well, on July 5th of that year. So at age 35, we might be seeing a Verlander that's as good or even better than the numbers were the year he was the Cy Young MVP.
It's incredible. Kind of goes against all the theories that we hear about regression in the analytics.
Good breaking ball dropped in there for a strike. It's 1-2.
Compared to that slider, granted it barely got down and caught part of the zone, but compared to that slider, you're waiting for the power, the velocity, and the sharp break. It just never comes, and all of a sudden you've got to be patient enough to stay back on that curveball. Not easy to do.
Fastball slice the other way. That's at 97. Speaking of defying regression, that's another area. JV has not lost his miles per hour from 2011 to 2018. There was a little dip in between, but it's come right back up.
No, it absolutely has. And right after that 2011 season, kind of the wear and tear got to him a little bit, but he's back physically. And that's the one thing he keeps talking about here in his 35th year of life, is that he is healthy again. And he feels much like he did in that 2011 season, and then the numbers are backing that philosophy up.
96, 97 here on a couple of fastballs to Sanchez. Verlander only needed 22 pitches to get through the first couple of innings. 17 last inning, and now 1 out in the 4th. And Sanchez continues to foul off 2-strike pitches. Yolmer 1 for 14 in his career against Verlander. Another shift employed against this switch hitter, batting left-handed against Verlander.
Give Sanchez some credit for fighting off some of those fastballs up out of the zone. But everything up and away, kind of wonder if he is going to come with that down and in slider, the back foot slider.
That picked up a bad swing last time. Is that a changeup?
I think so.
Doesn't throw many changeups. It looked like he would try to all the fastballs in a row and went with a changeup there.
That was it. Not the COD, but pretty effective.
Ninth pitch of this at bat. Fastball sent high in the air to center field. Marisnik has a play. Or that might have been the changeup again.
It was a changeup again, yep.
Back-to-back changeups from Justin Verlander. Well, there you go.
Sometimes you see pitchers get annoyed and they'll throw that fourth or fifth pitch just to get rid of a guy. But this was a better one. And again, it's the change in velocity. Sanchez has been fighting off 96, 97, and then 89. Tough to stay behind and be patient.
Here's Jose Abreu. Abreu takes the slider away. Jose flied out to right his first time up. Fastball misses at 2-0. Abreu tied with Francisco Lindor and Alex Bregman for second in doubles on the season with 27. Swings through that pitch. It's 2-1.
That is some sharp break on that slider going away from Abreu.
Catch in the front row by that fan. Hands it off to a youngster.
Well done.
Always a good thing to do.
And a high five for the thanks.
Sharply hit, but Yuli is there. And throws across to get his fellow mate from Cuba, Jose Abreu. 1-2-3 inning.
leading things off this inning. Had a great series in Texas. He had 2 homers in his last 2 games. He said after the game that he's extremely patriotic and loves America's birthday, and he always wants to do something special when he gets a chance to wear the stars and the stripes. Well, he did, and you saw his numbers, the 1,700 OPS, 3 homers, and that dates back to last year when the Astros beat up on the Atlanta Braves in an impressive series there. Todd.
Yeah, hit a grand slam in that series in Atlanta. Also hit a grand slam against the White Sox earlier this year, one of his 2 grand slams on the year. Josh down to the count here, 0-2.
I don't think I've ever seen him wear anything other than red, white, or blue off the field.
That's his colors.
We all know that what color he's going to wear in celebrations.
Yep, that's been well documented. Julie, is there a story behind the bat?
Yeah, well, we've seen more extra base hits with him, so I asked about that. Now the slugging percentage has gone up here lately, and he said that he actually got his bat back. He was using George's bat. He stole it from George, said he stole all George's hits when he did that. So he returned George's bat, got his own bat back. Now he's been sending it out of the ballpark lately.
Stole George's bat and then was struggling, then went back to his own for the home runs?
No, he stole George's bat, and George was struggling.
Oh, I got you.
So he said he stole all of George's hits. So he wanted to give them back. So when he took his bat back, he started going deep, saw the extra base hits for him. He was getting his singles.
So George has
explain why George is using a different bat.
I don't know what's going on with that bat rack.
Just pick one out that
It's
feels
communal. Yeah.
2-0 the count to Tyler White. Well, like Blummer said last time when George was batting, it's just a matter of when, and when that happens, we could see some pitchers paying for what frustrations George has been going through. Good swing there by Tyler. Fouls it to the upper deck. It's 2-1. George 0 for 2 tonight. Astros have had 2 runners on every inning, but not been able to break through against Carlos Rodon. George will bat in this inning if they get 2 on. Call it strike there. It's 2-2. Almost hits the back foot of Tyler White. The count goes to 3-2. No chase. Tyler White draws a walk. That is now 4 walks issued by Rodon. See if the Astros take advantage of one of these. They have had traffic at every inning.
Yeah, I don't want to see a repeat performance of what we saw from Blake Snell when he walked 7. The Astros were unable to push runs across. But A.J. Hinch knows the more opportunities they have with guys on base, the better the outcome is. So he'll gladly welcome the opportunity with guys on base.
Max Stassi, the batter. Stassi sends one to center field, and that ball is caught by Larry Garcia. That's out number 2. Here's Jake. Riznick had a single his first time up. 3 hits tonight by the Astros, all singles. Yuli Gurriel in the first, Tyler White and Jake Marisnick in the second. Mentioned Rodon has a very good slider on the season. Mentioned Blake Snell also. Snell and Trevor Bauer and also Rodon have the best slider in terms of batting average against and slugging percentage against. Starts Jake off with a fastball that he fouls out of play. with that base hit up to 193. It's been a long road trying to come back from a slow start. Pop out of play. And Rodon ahead of the count 0-2. 25-year-old Carlos Rodon was the number 3 overall pick in the 2014 draft out of North Carolina State. Had to battle some injuries here the last couple of seasons. Last year picked up more strikeouts with a slider than a fastball. This year it's been reversed a little bit, but still close to 50-50. Likes to go to the slider, went ahead. There it is, swing and a miss. And Marisnick goes down. 5th strikeout for Carlos Rodon. And the Astros are still scoreless with the White Sox.
Highest slugging percentage since June 24th. Alex Bregman on that list. Avisail Garcia for the Chicago White Sox is actually leading the way, barreling up some baseballs here in recent days. 935. That is punishment to a baseball.
That's a pretty impressive number because we know how Alex Bregman has been hot with the extra base hits, but Garcia over 50 points better during that stretch as he'll lead things off. 14-game hitting streak on the line as well for Garcia. As he fouls the first pitch from Verlander back, it's 0-1. Garcia, Daniel Palka, and Matt Davidson in the 5th inning for the White Sox. They have had just 1 base hit so far, Omar Narvaez. And he did not stay on base very long. He was thrown out stretching a single into a double. So Justin Verlander has worked out of the windup the entire night thus far. It's 0-2 on Garcia. Missed upstairs, 1-2.
Good adjustment by Garcia. When guys are swinging the bats well, they'll chase a pitch, but they'll make the adjustment. Justin trying to attack up in the zone with that fastball. He got a swing and miss, but didn't get it on that last pitch.
in the air, right field. Easy play for Springer. Trots to his left a bit. Puts it away for out number 1. Verlander has all his outs either in the air or via strikeouts, with the exception of one. A ground out by Jose Abreu to end the last inning. Now he'll face Daniel Palka, the left-hand hitter. Coming in a very solid average exit velocity, close to 100 miles an hour on the season. This is a guy that, when he does make contact, has hit the ball hard for the White Sox. Does have 10 home runs. Takes called strike. Palka, like Josh Reddick, with back-to-back games with a home run. Nice curveball. Verlander drops it in there.
Beautiful curveball. Again, our StatCast showing you the last 100 baseballs put in play by Palka to that pull side. Heavy dosage toward Altuve and Tyler White.
Very similar to the Moncada spray chart.
Yep.
And very similar defensive alignment against Palka. The only difference, Palka not a bunt threat, so Yuli starts out back on the infield. Now there's 2 strikes. He would have been back against either hitter. Slider bounces in the dirt. It's 2-2. Palka started his career with Arizona, drafted by the Diamondbacks, and then traded to Minnesota before the 2016 season. The White Sox claimed him off waivers this offseason. And he crushes one to a place that not many people get a foul ball. That is a section I can pretty assuredly say that we'll not see any more foul balls this year.
Into the abyss. There's no, I don't even light that part of the stadium up. That's getting the head out. Wow.
The fans in the adjoining sections gave whoever got that ball a standing ovation. Because nobody up there thought they were getting a foul ball tonight, as Stassi makes the play, getting Tyler White to cover first base on the strikeout swinging by Palka, 2 away.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how many cricket scouts there are in the stands, but he'd probably get a phone call after that swing.
I still need to learn how to play cricket, but that seemed like something that would bode well in cricket.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent some time out there playing some winter ball, and man, I sat down for hours watching that. It's a round stadium. The pitch is directly in the middle, so I mean, it is fair play. Just keep it away from the wickets.
And matches could go days?
Days. Days. Yeah, if you put some money down on that, you talk about an investment. Ooh, with some time and money.
So people that complain about 4-hour games know nothing.
Yeah, give me a break.
Want to know the count to Matt Davidson. And a slider away. It's 2-0.
They do have some that are day matches too. Speed things up a little bit, make it a little
like
more.
A quick, like 8 hour.
Just a quick 7 or 8 hours, yep.
Three 3-0 the count. Justin has been ahead of most hitters tonight. 73 pitches thrown, 49 for strikes, more than 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio. But he's 3-0 here on Davidson. And Davidson gets the green light and pops one way up in the air. It avoids the rafters, and it'll drop into the glove of Alex Bregman for the final out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Verlander. We are through 4.5.
Customize your experience with Astros home screen icons and features like MLB.tv Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. George Springer leading things off here, hoping to finish strong before the break after a really tough stretch he's had. And AJ asked again about him today and saying he's been battling to just do something positive, but he's definitely been frustrated. And here lately he's had some good at-bats, but some tough luck, and he's also chased a little bit. But AJ's seen him a little bit of everything for George. He's seen him be early, he's seen him be late. Seems like a little bit of everything, like I said, but he's sticking with him because of what he can do. He's just one swing away at all times from doing some damage, guys.
Tonight, a little bit of everything as well. Fly out, strikeout, and now a ground down. Unfortunately for George, nothing has found its way for a base hit, and the frustration continues. He's the first out of the fifth. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman is grounded to short and grounded out to third. Alex riding a 9-game hitting streak, coming in batting .432 during that stretch. Has been really good for over a month now. Has that batting average sitting at .277. And second on the team in home runs and RBIs with 16 and 54. AJ tried to rest Springer a couple of games on that recent road trip. One of them was a little bit injury related. The other one is more of a mental health day. It's just a grind. Baseball is a grind. Same guy that had 6 hits in one game now has 5 hits over the span of 71 at bats.
Yeah, baseball is hard physically and mentally. It'll wear on the best of players. But the hard part about when you get in slumps and getting out of slumps is there's no formula. There's not a book you can go read. There's not a coach you can go talk to. There's not a player you can go visit with that's going to say this will get you out of that slump.
That ball is hit well into left center field. Alex Bregman continues his hitting streak all the way to the wall. Gets past Leury Garcia. Alex at second. He'll hold up there. Thought about going for 3 momentarily. Bregman with a 10-game hitting streak, a 1-out base runner.
And Alex Bregman's really a good example of a guy who struggled early on but just kept it simple and maintained the swing and knew that good things were going to happen. He has been hitting the ball hard all season, and that's a great idea of a guy who has strike zone command but also has command inside the zone. When he gets a pitch much like that one right down the middle, he is able to get the barrel to it immediately and create a high exit velocity. And he has been racking up the extra base hits, which helped that slugging percentage we showed you earlier.
Another double for Bregman, and here's Altuve. Double number 28 on the year for Alex. Now second in the American League. Rodon is having trouble throwing strikes to Jose Altuve. He has walked him twice. He's behind in the count here, 2-0. There's a strike. Altuve looked like he was taking the whole way. 3 of the top 5 in the American League. Bregman's been moving up that chart. He's up to second now. Altuve drills one deep to left field. Astros take the lead. That ball's onto the train tracks. Train number 27 has just left Union Station. It's 2-0 Houston.
Welcome home, Jose Altuve. Putting on a show for these fans. And again, that's the beauty of this lineup. They are relentless. You may get them once, you may get them twice, But if you open that door and make a mistake, they make you pay. How about the two smallest guys on the team doing damage?
Altuve's last 3 home runs here at Minute Maid Park have all not only set the train in motion, but been up on the train tracks. His 2 home run game and this one were both well struck over the Crawford boxes, over the signs, and onto the train tracks. Here's Yuli Gurriel.
Happiest guy in that dugout right now is Justin Verlander.
After the Astros threatened for the first 4 innings and couldn't score, Altuve takes care of that with his 8th home run of the year. Maybe all of a sudden he'll start hitting here. We've seen him hit close to 400 on the road the last couple of years.
Yeah, flip that script. Be a good time to do it considering they've got 10 more games in this homestand. But Tuve getting into this. Let's see him clear out that front side. And we talked about how Rodon will get in that kitchen of hitters, but if you open up that front side and have good enough lag in that barrel, you can do what Jose Altuve did. 104.6 miles an hour off the bat, estimated 417 feet.
Tommy Dynamite's becoming Altuve's best friend up there because he keeps retrieving these home runs.
Oh yeah. It's a good feeling.
Well, maybe Rodon knew something when he was afraid to throw a strike to Altuve his first 2 times up. Astros out in front 2-0. 5 hits to go along with 4 walks tonight against Rodon. Evan Gattis almost gets hit. He's thrown a few of those fastballs and an occasional slider down and into righties, and it just missed a couple of back foots tonight. Command has been okay tonight for Rodon, but not great. 49 strikes, 41 balls. He's able to get a pop-up here on a 2-1 pitch. Coming in, Avisail Garcia puts it away, but the Astros strike first.
Big swing from the little man, putting the Astros on the board. 2-0, end of the 5th inning.
AT Sportsnet is presented by Rooms to Go. Don't miss over 100 hot buys going on now. Great values in every department. Jose Altuve connecting on a home run in the World Series, connecting on home runs here for the 8th time this year, 5th home run of those 8 at Minute Maid Park. And now Justin Verlander works with a lead for the first time. He'll face the bottom 3rd of the order. Altuve giving Verlander a 2-0 lead, and Omar Narvaez, who is the only base runner of this game, leads off. Narvaez battled Verlander in a long at bat his last time up, and then singled into right field. It looked like it was going to be a double, but George Springer made a great play off the wall, barehanded, and threw out Narvaez, trying to get into second base. Other than that, Verlander has not allowed a runner, so again, he continues to work out of the windup exclusively tonight. That ball is drilled deep to right field, and there is the first run of the game for the White Sox. Omar Narvaez has both hits tonight against Verlander. His second home run of the year makes it a 2-1 game.
He's still not get a pitch out of the stretch. But I think that was down and in. Wants that fastball away. I mean, sorry, wants the slider down and away, but that slider becomes down and in, not the down and in strikeout pitch that we see in out of the zone. That one stays in that lower inner third. And again, kind of throws it into that bat speed in the strike zone. That happy spot for a left-handed hitter down and in.
Now Garcia fouls one away. Verlander allowing his 12th home run of the season. Down and in, it's 1-1. And able to come back and get Larry Garcia. That is strikeout number 8 for Verlander. 1 out in the 6th.
Went backed up a little bit more. Didn't create as much depth, but an aggressive hitter in Garcia well out in front of that pitch.
Here's Tim Anderson. He struck out his first time up. Fastball for a strike. Slice down the right field side. Springer is there, and he puts it away, and then guides into the wall slowly as he knew that wall was coming up in a hurry. Nice play by George.
Nicely done by George. Plays a lot of center field, a lot of right field, knows his ballpark well.
Two outs, base is empty, and now Yohan Moncada. Moncada has struck out and popped up. Foul tip. Strike 1.
That catch right there reminds me of a catch that Jason Lane made years back, because there's padding all the way up that wall now. There used to not be padding on there. And that wrought iron was exposed, the railing, and he face first into that thing. And you could hear the boom as he hit it. It was brutal. But he's a tough kid. But that's why the padding is all the way up the wall.
Yeah, I mean, that needs to be there, you would think. I'm surprised it wasn't there back then. But here's a ball hit hard over the head of Altuve for a base hit. Moncada has the 3rd hit of the night for the White Sox. He's a 2-out base runner.
Might have been another slider. Altuve trying to show some ups. Hang time. Justin Verlander helping him out.
That's one thing we've noticed, that Verlander, one of his quirks is he will jump a little bit on the mound, sometimes to help his teammate jump.
It's a team effort out there.
Sometimes he'll jump after a pitch he wishes he had back. Here's a ball sent towards left center field, and this ball slicing towards Reddick. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Reddick bare hands it back in. Bregman's going to be the relay man. The throw home is well overshot. It's going to go off the screen, but no further advancement. And the game is tied at 2 on an RBI double by Yolmer Sanchez. Moncada limping after crossing home plate.
Noticeably. Fastball down and away. Yolmer Sanchez did a good job of staying on that, shooting it the other way, and with that exaggerated shift in the outfield to the opposite field, you can see how wide open that gap is in left center field. Moncada turning third base. You know what? He was probably thinking about trying to slide, and when he opted out of the slide, it seems like that's when the injury happened.
RBI double for Sanchez, goes to third on the throw. Here's Moncada between third and home.
Kind of anticipating slide, and then came across. He was struggling around that third base turn.
Abreu a big swing and a miss. Verlander giving up a couple of runs in the 6th inning. The game is now tied. Bregman would have needed to make a perfect throw to have a chance, and it looked like he just never had a grip on that baseball. It sailed off the screen. 0-2 pitch down. It's 1-2. Three of the 4 hits in the game allowed by Verlander this inning. Solo home run by Narvaez, a single by Moncada, and a double by Sanchez. Mentioned Verlander had been working out of the windup almost exclusively tonight, except for this inning. So with a runner on third, he is going back out of the windup here. Swing and a miss, able to get Abreu. Abreu's had success, but Verlander's won the battles tonight. Jose now 0 for 3, but the game's tied.
than ever before by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, all tied at 2. Josh Reddick will face the left-hander for the White Sox, 25-year-old Carlos Rodon. Reddick has struck out a couple of times and now taps one slowly towards the mound. Play is made for out number 1. Rodon facing Reddick tonight, the only left-handed hitter in the lineup. This year in limited starts, just 5 starts, he had been better against righties than lefties. But over his career, he's always done a little bit better against left-hand hitters. Here's Tyler White. White's having a good night. A single to right. He's also walked. Slider misses down and in. Even though Rodon gets a lot of strikeouts on the slider, he does not always throw it for their strike. It's 48.7% of the time, second lowest in baseball. But he does get a lot of chases, especially when he's ahead. I tried to see if White would fish on a changeup, and instead it's 2-0.
It's another adjustment that Rodon has made with that changeup. Now he's thrown 17 of those changeups, roughly around what, 17-18%. Throughout the course of the season, he's right around 10% with that changeup usage.
Seen him throw a few to Altuve, and I think he knows that White got him a couple of times in Chicago as well.
Yep. And it's the one pitch that he does stay on that outside corner to right-handed hitters with. Everything else is pretty much power inside with the fastball and slider.
There it is again. Well, here's the count that White hit one of his 2 home runs against Rodon back in Chicago 2 seasons ago. See if he gets challenged here, 3-1. Nope. Oh, perfect pitch down and away. He didn't give him anything good to hit. .98 pitches, 1 shy of his season high. And now it almost hits Tyler White. It's either a walk or a hit batter, not sure, but he's on first with 1 out.
Had to move both feet out of the way with that one.
I still don't know if that grazed him.
TBD.
I don't think it did, actually. We're going to go with a walk for now.
But you have options in scoring. You could say hit by pitch or
pen.
Yeah, that's the problem too, is that we both use pen in these situations.
We're going to go with the 5th walk by Rodon. Here's Max Stassi. He struck out and also lined to center. Fouled away. It's 1-1.
Kind of ready for a Stassi home run.
I like that.
Help out his battery mate.
Well, other than Jose Altuve, nobody's really hit the ball hard against Rodon. Stassi's line out his last time up was one of the 4 hardest hit baseballs of the night. Pitch misses. It's 2-1. White Sox dugout has not been thrilled. A couple of calls from the home plate umpire Todd Tichenor, and you can hear them a little bit in the background as Rodon over 100 pitches for the first time this season. And with that in mind, now their bullpen will get moving for the first time. Juan Minaya begins to warm up.
That bullpen has seen a lot of action.
Coming into a series after playing a 3-game set in Cincinnati, with that ballpark being a hitter-friendly park, is not always the best for a bullpen. Their Bullpen is allowed a run in 8 straight games and has an ERA of 5.01 during that stretch.
They have thrown a lot of pitches in the last 3 days.
Possibly why Rodon is getting a few extra pitches here, as he's over 100 and a 3-2 count to Stassi.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and they've done a good job. Well, they've done a very good job of keeping an eye on Carlos Rodon. They have protected him as far as pitch counts and innings pitched in his career.
Three-two pitch, inside ball 4. That is the 5th walk. Make it 6 now, because we're not going to say White was hit by a pitch. 6th walk issued by Carlos Rodon. That matches his career high. 4th time in his career that's happened.
And AJ Hinch's teams in the last couple of years, if you are not necessarily wild, but you're not in the zone frequently, this team will make you work. Just need a big hit to take advantage of some of these walks in this game.
Jake does have a career home run against this left-hander. 1 for 2 tonight. Takes a pitch down low for a ball, 1-0.
This is only the 2nd time this season that Rodon has thrown over 100 pitches.
We have seen him throw a lot more changeups tonight than he normally is. Starting off Jake with the off speed. Now coming inside for ball 2.
There's a little bit of history between Jake Marisnick and Carlos Rodon back at Guaranteed Rate Field on the 17th. Man, that was a blast on August 10th. Going way back. So you know he can. It's just a matter of will he.
The old mid-count mound meeting. This could be as much to talk to as starting pitcher.
Oh, there's a healthy conversation going on right now.
And Don Cooper may also have a word or two for the home plate umpire Todd Titchener on his way back. He's going to let it go.
Coop usually lets those umpires have it.
6 walks. And he's down 2-0 here. And Coop went out there and said, let's see if we can find a strike zone here in a tie game.
Well, you know what, another thing too, the bullpen got active relatively late in this inning, so it was another opportunity to get some more pitches in that bullpen to get them hot just in case, but still a chance for a mistake to Jake.
Fastball strike. It's 2-1. Chop towards third. Sanchez to second for 1, and they're able to turn a double play. Astros have grounded into 87 double plays on the year. That's the most in the major leagues. Nissan. Who am I? Hey now, you're an all-star. Thanks for stopping by in Twin Peak. Those are your clues tonight. If you have a guess or know the answer, you can send those to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Name that Astro, presented by Nissan. Seventh inning baseball. Justin Verlander back out there. We would assume that Carlos Rodon's night is over. He's thrown 109 pitches, 9 more than he had thrown in any other game this year. As now Verlander starts this inning with 91 pitches and will face 4, 5, and 6. Avisail Garcia, Daniel Palka, and Matt Davidson. In terms of chances, the Astros have had many more than the White Sox. 7 left on base through 6 for Houston. Only 1 man left on base through 6 for the White Sox. Garcia has struck out and flied out to right. Verlander, beginning of his career, did not like facing this team very much. He was just 2-9 against them at the beginning of his Tigers career, but since then 18-4. That's a swing for a strike. It's 1-2.
I thought it was a pretty good pitch. Strike nonetheless. Third pitch, catching the outside corner, but the call was on the swing.
In the air, shallow right field. George Springer comes in. Verlander has done a nice job against Jose Abreu, who has good numbers against him, but has been cold lately. And Avisail Garcia, who has been red hot lately, he has retired them all 6 times.
Good job of changing speeds against Garcia. Just that little bit of a wrinkle in the change in velocity gets that barrel out in front and underneath the pitch and create that fly ball.
Now he'll face Daniel Palka. A couple of strikeouts tonight. Swings through the fastball at 96.
As low as Palka holds his hands, that's going to be a tough pitch for him to catch up to. Much like Matt Olson that we see in Oakland.
Takes that fastball for a strike. It's 0-2.
Might have been looking for something else. Got locked up with 96.
26-year-old rookie facing Justin Verlander for the first time. As he shoots one up into the upper deck, it stays 0-2. Verlander sitting with 9 strikeouts. He has had double-digit strikeouts in 3 other games this year. It has not always meant success for the Astros. They are 0-3 in those 3 games. One and 2 the count. Swing and a miss. There is the 10th strikeout for Verlander. 4th time this year he's been in double figures, and they've all been here at Minute Maid Park. 2 outs in the 7th.
Justin Verlander doing Justin Verlander things. Talked about the fastball. Palka unable to catch up to it. That is the hat trick on the evening for young hitter trying to figure out Justin Verlander.
Verlander has 91 strikeouts this year at home in 66 2/3 innings. Here's Matt Davidson, a couple of pop-ups, one to third, one to short. Called strike, it's 1-1. Chris Davinsky beginning to warm up in the Astros bullpen. Now ahead 1-2. Verlander over 100 pitches. This very well could be his final inning. Doesn't chase the slider. It's 2-2. Trying to hold up, and he does. AJ Hinch couldn't believe it. The rest of the dugout couldn't believe it. AJ spun away from his normal position. He is usually not that animated, but was not happy with that call.
That might be why. That was a swing.
That was the 11th strikeout right there. Verlander recomposes himself on the mound. Broken bat nicely to his left. Yuli Gurriel makes the play for the final out. So 1-2-3 inning for Verlander. We head to the 7th inning stretch, all tied at 2.
Are in for the Chevy Stroll poll. Let's check out who won today. Which Astros hitter is poised to have a big offensive homestand? Look at Alex Bregman. He beat Jose Altuve, if you can believe that, in our Chevy Stroll poll tonight. 43% goes to Bregman with a double tonight. Altuve, of course, a 2-run home run. Thanks for voting. Thanks for following at ATT Sportsnet SWDK.
You guys have been around for 6 years now, 7th year. Have you seen Altuve lose a poll?
No.
Never. That was a first.
What an upset.
6 years it took for Altuve to lose a poll in our Stroh poll. Here's the new pitcher for the White Sox. That just tells you how hot Alex Bregman is. The new pitcher is Juan Minaya.
Some of the numbers on Juan Minaya after 17 appearances this season. 0-2 record, 4.02 ERA, 22 strikeouts, and 14 walks. 17 of those strikeouts in his last 12 appearances. Fastball's in the mid-90s. Changeup is firm, almost to 90 miles an hour, and he has a slider.
He has now been used in 5 of the last 7 days. Lummer mentioned this is a bullpen that's kind of running on fumes right now. We'll see if it pays off for the Astros as Springer takes a called strike. Springer 0 for 3 tonight. And there is a sharply hit ground ball, backhanded Anderson, long throw, and George thought about a dive. Instead, he stayed on his feet. And that is kind of how it's been for George lately. He could not buy one.
Yeah, that's getting to a different level of frustration for George. There are times you get to that point and you literally wonder if the baseball gods are in revolt against everything you're trying to do to get a hit. That's all. That's the only explanation you can actually go with, because he's probably made every swing adjustment he possibly can. He tried to sneak that one through the hole, and Anderson made a great play on it.
And it's at the point, it's not like it's a 0 for 12 or 13. It's at the point where even hard contact where he should have had a hit, it doesn't help the psyche.
Yeah. No, yeah. You get to the point where you start to do some weird stuff. you take your bat underneath and you ice and stem it because it's in pain. I had a road trip. I had a homestand, scuffled, maybe got one hit like in 11 games. And we have individual bat bags. I went into the training room and I took a bottle of Advil. And I took the entire bottle of Advil. And the bottles of Advil they have down there are Costco size. They're massive.
Yeah.
Tubs. I took all maybe 200, 300 pills in that bottle, dumped them into my bat bag, zipped it up, put it on the truck, and took it on the road. I had a massive mess in my bat bag, but I got a couple of hits the first night.
There you go. Your bat got better.
But it's weird how you try and do everything appropriately, and it's the craziest thing you do. It helps you get out of it.
And we mentioned this at various times during his struggles. In the beginning of the year, this guy couldn't buy a hit. And he was the most unlucky hitter on the team for a while. And then all of a sudden, June turns him around, and he's the best player in the American League in June. And he's kind of continued that here in July.
Yeah, this game will test you big time.
But now the roles have been reversed where George can't buy one, and Bregman just has been red hot. Now he gets called out on a strike on the inside corner, and Alex didn't like that call. And as we said, that usually means it might not have been a strike. Strikeout number 1 for Minaya, 2 outs in the inning.
I give Alex credit. It's a respectable conversation that he's having with Todd Tichenor back there. That was a slider. I'm not sure if it got all the way back, but just grabs an inside portion of that plate. Well, that was an aggressive framing job by Narvaez.
Wasn't too demonstrative in the call, so maybe he thought it could have possibly cost the edge. Here's Altuve, who has accounted for the only 2 runs tonight for the Astros.
It gives us a chance to check out that home run and stat cast it for everybody at home. Long fly ball up onto the train tracks, 417 feet. Great launch angle at 34 degrees.
Altuve's been on base with a couple of walks prior to that home run. And he takes a called strike here. It's 0-2.
I'll tell you what, Manaya's showing no ill effects of being abused in the last 5-6 days.
He's pounding the strike zone.
Firm, too, 96 miles an hour.
Ground ball to third. Omar Sanchez makes the play across. We are through 7 and still tied at 2 apiece. On Here Are Your Clues tonight. Hey now, you're an all-star. Thanks for stopping by. And Twin Peaks. And if you guess the guy who just took over on the mound, Chris Davinsky, you are absolutely correct. An all-star last year, acquired from the White Sox. Twin sister Amanda.
Worked out to be a pretty good trade for the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Quite a player to be named later.
No doubt. Great numbers on the season again for Chris Davinsky. 1.57 ERA, 41 strikeouts. Fastball, COD, and a slider.
Not a lot of run support for Justin Verlander tonight. He will leave with a no decision. 7 innings of 4-hit baseball. And that ball's hit hard by Omar Narvaez, who has hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight, including a home run his last time up. Also hit one off the wall prior to that. This time he lines out to George Springer for the first out. Verlander allowed 3 of the 4 hits tonight in the 6th inning when the White Sox scored their 2 runs. The home run by Narvaez and a double by Yolmer Sanchez. Justin did not walk a batter, and he struck out 10 double-digit strikeouts for the 4th time this year. Now Devo takes over in the 8th, facing the bottom third of the order. And the Devo hats are out. That ball's hit well to right center field, going all the way back. Springer looking up, and that ball's into the Astros bullpen, a home run. Larry Garcia with his 3rd home run of the year. And the White Sox take their first lead. It's 3-2.
Down and in. Seen a couple of mistakes down and into some of these left-handed hitters at the bottom of the order for Rick Renteria and the Chicago White Sox. Larry Garcia, that inside fastball, turns on it, shoots it into that Astros bullpen. Set up in there.
Now fastball up to Tim Anderson for ball 1. Omar Narvaez hits his 2nd on the year, and Larry Garcia hits his 3rd on the season. Bottom third of the order doing some damage tonight for Chicago. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Crowd here at Minute Maid Park quieted after that home run, seeing the Astros trail for the first time tonight. That one hits Anderson on a fastball inside.
Again, Devo missing a spot by a good ways. See if it got the hand right in that left forearm.
Renteria out there along with the White Sox trainer. So far in this inning, a line out to right field for the first out. A ball hit hard by Narvaez, a home run into the bullpen in right center, and then a missed spot on a hit batter. So the Astros getting bullpen action going.
And just getting back to Justin Verlander's night. 7 innings, 4 hits, a couple of earned runs. He's pitched well at home. The ERA at home coming into this game was 2.25. His record is 2-2. But overall, the Astros record in those games, they've lost 6 of 9 of those. Doesn't make much sense, but here's Justin on the mound doing some work against the Chicago White Sox. He did make a mistake, like Todd was talking about, to Narvaez. But that fastball elevated was very good. Set up the secondary pitches, which are the slider. But he stayed firm to quite firm against these White Sox hitters. Created the swing and miss. He had 10 strikeouts, another double-digit strikeout outing for Justin Verlander. Just the offense unable to pick him up and put him in a position where he could pick up a W.
Well, tonight another example of how those numbers have played out. That you mentioned the 2.25 ERA and 3-6 as a team in those starts. That doesn't make sense. Tonight only 2 runs allowed, and right now Davinsky giving up the 3rd run, and the Astros are down 1-0 to the leadoff hitter Yohan Moncada, who went 1 for 3 with a run scored against Verlander. Runner on the move, and the pitch is a called strike. Anderson has his 20th steal of the year. He is 2nd in the American League in that category.
Picked a good pitch to run on too. That changeup, no chance for Max Stassi.
There's a strike called. It's 1-2. Devo had a string of 12 straight appearances. Scoreless snapped on Tuesday against the Rangers in Texas. Faced 4 batters, allowed a single and a couple of walks, struck out a batter. High fly ball to right. Springer will drift back. He'll have a play. Anderson tags at 2nd. He's going to try and get to 3rd. Springer's throw comes all the way on the fly, and Yuli makes the catch, but Anderson advances 90 feet. Host clients or celebrate a special occasion with a variety of premium seating opportunities at Minute Maid Park, including club and suite level seats for any group size. Visit astros.com/suites or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today. 2 outs, a runner on 3rd, and Yolmer Sanchez will bat.
Maybe we should call a game from the suite.
We're going to call a game from the stands in this homestand.
Oh, yeah.
In the A series. We're going to be out there in center field, right above the batter's eye.
Yeah, they're spoiling us.
Yeah,
they're
are.
going to give us some great seats to call that game. It's also the Game of Thrones night. Dollar Dog Tuesday.
Everything's happening.
Man, be there.
We're going to see a great view of basically what our center field camera sees. Somewhere in that vicinity.
Duffy still playing center field for the A's.
Smolinski's been out there a little bit.
It's going to be tough for me to rag Smolinski. It's a long name.
Piscotty gets out there every once in a while.
Well, I like Steven. Unless he's playing against the Astros, and I could guess I could, make an adjustment.
I'll have to look to see who's been playing out there lately. But you're going to try and get your heckle on?
Yeah. It's not going to be the cough button in that series, in that game. It's going to be the heckle button.
Dustin Fowler.
That's who I was thinking of. Fowler.
He's been out there. So we'll get on somebody.
Yeah, believe it.
Oakland's made a nice run to get at least into the conversation in the wild card chase right now.
I'll tell you what, they have piqued the interest of some people around baseball. Some people even thinking that they might have a threat at a wild card position.
They have leapfrogged the Angels in the standings, and by a good margin, as you can see. The Angels getting Shohei Ohtani back, but they are just a game over 500, while the A's, who the Astros last left below 500, are now 9 over.
Yeah, they've got some work to catch up to Seattle, who continues to win tight ball games.
Swing and a miss. Davinsky ends up giving up the 1 run and stranding a runner on 3rd as Devo strikes out Sanchez to end the top of the 8th. We into the bottom half of the 8th inning. Astros have a little work to do in the final 2 frames. Down 3-2. Carlos Rodon, who was the starting pitcher, allowed 6 walks. He struck out 6 in 6 innings, but the Astros did not take advantage of him tying his career high in walks. Scored a couple of runs. There was a double by Bregman and a home run by Altuve following. And that's it. Yuli Gurriel has drawn one of those walks. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. And takes a called strike as Juan Minaya back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Yuli has that batting average at .297 right now. And misses the slider. It's 0-2. Minaya throws the changeup and the slider about equally to right-hand hitters, but mostly fastball, 61%. Fastball foul to the screen.
Yeah, I saw Narvaez setting up. And that's Yuli's hot zones. He likes that top portion of the strike zone, even up out of the zone, especially if it is a fastball. But how about Minaya, just aggressive in the strike zone? 13 pitches, 12 of them have been strikes.
And that's usually not his MO.
Yeah, saw the 14 walks coming into this ball game.
And 14 and 15 and 2/3 innings. But tonight, he has found his command. Until he almost hits Yuli. It's 2-2. Yuli and then Evan Gattis and Josh Reddick. Crowd of 34,955 has been a little quiet after that home run that gave the White Sox a 3-2 lead off the bat of Leury Garcia. Another hour and a half or so, an hour 26 minutes to be exact, to vote for Yuli Gurriel at first base to see if he can overtake the White Sox first baseman Jose Abreu. Yuli grounding one over the screen of the dugout behind the White Sox side. Stays 2-2. Minaya 1-2-3 inning in the 7th, getting Springer, Bregman, and Altuve. Doesn't chase. It's 3-2.
Good AB to lead off this inning by Yuli. Be even better if he ends up on base. Astros a good ball club from the 7th inning on.
Rumbles of thunder in the background here at Minute Maid Park.
I like it. Mother Nature setting things up for us.
And Yuli fouls another fastball away.
A couple of Astro legends voting as we speak. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby
getting the final votes in.
Locking them in, getting their boys in there.
Down and away. What a plate appearance by Yuli Gurriel, drawing the walk after an extended 10-pitch at bat.
That's a good start. Attacks that arm of Minaya. Finally gives up that walk, and it breaks up that string of throwing a ton of strikes.
Just when he got ahead 0-2, we started mentioning he walks a lot of people. Then he found that wildness again. Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis has popped up, fly to right, and grounded into a double play. Evan already with more RBIs this season, 57, than he had all of last year when he drove in 55. Set his career mark in runs batted in. 3 seasons ago with 88. Yuli is probably not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Interesting choice by Manaya. Trying to catch Yuli while he's putting on his batting glove. Might be a sliding glove.
This is the slider. It's 0-2. Nice block by Narvaez, keeping Gurriel at first. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It was a heck of a job by Narvaez getting outside this baseball. It's not easy to do when it's almost outside the other batter's box. Got that glove in a good position.
Edman was ready to wave Gurriel on to second, but Narvaez kept it in front of him. Astros coming off a 3-3 road trip in which they scored 17 runs in those 6 games. Just under 3 runs per game. 2 tonight, so the offense has not quite been to where the Astros have expected most of the season. In the last week or so, Yuli on the move, grounded foul at the plate. And Yuli will return to first. Jay Hinch trying to get something going here. Bruce Rondon is warming up in the White Sox bullpen as Manaya has thrown 24 pitches. Xavier Cedeno, the lefty, also loosening.
They must have seen that StatCast speed for Yuli Gurriel picking up this season.
They are very concerned with a guy who does not run much, although he did run on the 1-2 pitch.
You've got a guy at home plate that, if you're not paying too close attention, can get a hold of one. Got him in a 1-2 count. Wow. I think we found the limits of my analysis.
Just missed the edge, 2-2.
Gutsy take just off the outside edge at 96.
We always watch the first base coach, Alex Cintron, always has that watch out, checking the times. Maybe they see a slowish time here. And if Manaya does have a slow time, then Yuli tried to steal. Manaya's one way to thwart him is to keep throwing to first base.
With the way Evan Gattis has been swinging the bat, he's in scoring position right there.
And if your focus is diverted, Gattis will make you pay in a hurry. There goes the runner. Pitches outside and low, and Yuli goes in standing with a stolen base.
Set him up.
Third steal of the season for Yuli.
Got a great pitch to run on, too. When you saw in our StatCast lead, he was right out there at 11 feet.
And in case you didn't catch our earlier broadcast, what Blummer was referring to, the StatCast sprint leaderboard, the biggest improvement from last year to this year is that guy. Showing the wheels off. 3-2 pitch is a foul. Evan staying alive and seeing a lot of pitches back-to-back at bats with extended at bats. Yuli saw 10 pitches, and now Gaddis will see his 8th pitch in this sequence. This may be Manaya's final batters. He is closing in on 30 pitches, and again working for the 5th time in 7 days. Fly ball, right field. Going to send Garcia back. Tagging at second is Yuli. He's going to challenge Garcia. The throw is cut off, and Yuli gets to third with 1 out on the fly ball out by Evan Gaddis.
Good AB by Evan. We talked about the pitches thrown, but making him work and hitting that ball deep enough to get Yuli over to third base. Watch Yuli. He peeks back at Gary Pettis right there, and Gary Pettis actually waved him in that situation, said, "Bring it." And a good choice.
With the lefty Josh Reddick due up, the White Sox are going to go to the bullpen, and they're going to call on the lefty Xavier Cedeno. So Rick Renteria makes the move here with 1 out in the 8th. Back with more after this. Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. 3-2 game, bottom half of the 8th inning. Astros have the tying run on third base and less than 2 outs, 1 away. Josh Reddick due up, and the White Sox go to Xavier Cedeno.
Cedeno does not throw very hard. In his 14 games this season, he's pitched 11 2/3 innings. He is a left-handed specialist. He's been doing a great job. 15 strikeouts in those 11 2/3. You see the bottom number, 190 batting average against lefties. He is cutter, slider. The cutter comes in 86 miles an hour. The slider in the upper 70s.
Infield in, Reddick the batter. Cedeno in to face the left-hand hitter who's 0 for 3 tonight. Ground ball towards the first baseman, Abreu. They're going to have a play as Yuli's hung up between third and home. And now Yuli trying to sprint for home, and he will be tagged out at home plate. Josh gets to second during the rundown. Yuli did his part, staying in there as long as possible.
Contact play is on. You see Yuli, pretty good lead, but forcing the issue. Abreu is a very good first baseman with a strong throw home, and then the rundown. But Yuli did a good job of staying in that rundown, allowing Josh to get to second base. So Josh is in scoring position with 2 outs.
Abreu started the play and finished it on the fielder's choice. So Cedeno was in there just to face the lefty with Tyler White due up. So White Sox make another pitching change. We'll have more after this. Strike's over in the outfield. Larry Garcia comes in. Tim Anderson, who was hit by a pitch, leaves the game. You see Engel looking at his scouting report, and Garcia now on the infield. The new pitcher for the Chicago White Sox is Bruce Rondon.
Rondon throws pretty hard, mid-90s to upper 90s with the fastball, changeup, and a slider. Again, 32 appearances out of that bullpen for the White Sox. 28 innings, 38 strikeouts, but also check out the walk number at 23.
Starts him off with the slider for a called strike. That changeup only to lefties as White stands in there. Fastball, slider. Rondon throws the hardest out of the bullpen for the White Sox, and he's appearing in his third straight game. And also for the last 6. Delivers a strike. It's 0-2 to Tyler White. White has been on base all 3 times, a single and a couple of walks. Does not swing at that pitch in the dirt. It's 1-2. Yuli Gurriel started this inning with a walk, the 7th walk issued by Chicago pitching tonight. He advanced to second on a stolen base. Evan Gattis hit a fly ball to right that pushed Yuli to third, but then Josh Reddick with the infield in rounded into a fielder's choice. Gurriel stayed in the rundown long enough for Josh to get to second. Inside, almost hits White. He's been almost hit about 2 or 3 times tonight. It's 2-2.
That would have not felt good at 99 miles an hour.
When Rondon is wild, his mechanics get out of sorts a little bit. Started him off with a couple of strikes, but now it's 2-2. Slider popped out of play. Pretty good pitch that White spoiled. All Tyler's looking for is a base hit here. With 2 outs, Reddick will be off a second quickly, and a single here could tie the game. Josh gets about as solid a secondary lead as anybody on the bases for the Astros. Swing and a miss. Got him with the slider that time. White goes down swinging, and the Astros fail in the 8th. We head to inning 9. It's 3-2 Chicago.
Is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Those are pitchers coming out of the bullpen for the Houston Astros since June 1st. They are 8-3 with a 1.81 ERA. During that time, they are second in Major League Baseball with those numbers. Brad Peacock, Chris Davinsky, Colin McHugh putting up big numbers. And on the season, they are #1 as far as ERA in the major leagues with a 2.54. And we've seen Hector Rondon step into a little bit of a closing role. Did a great job in Texas going multiple innings to get that save in that Texas series.
So the new pitcher in the 9th inning for the Astros with the dangerous right-hand hitters due up of Jose Abreu and Aviseo Garcia is Joe Smith. We haven't seen him in a while.
Has been a while, a little bit of time on the DL. Joe back in there, coming in a situation where he needs to hold this White Sox middle part of the lineup right where it's at.
Joe had a little right elbow soreness. Last pitch for the Astros almost exactly 1 month ago on June 6th. Couple of rehab appearances for AA Corpus Christi, and he starts off Abreu with a called strike. Joe trying to keep this at a 1-run game and give the Astros a chance to do what they did so well in the last homestand. That's come through in the bottom half of the 9th inning. No fewer than 3 walk-off victories last time in town, including 2 by Alex Bregman. Bregman would be due up 4th in the 9th inning. 1-1 pitch is into right field for a base hit. Abreu goes the other way. Jose, who went 0 for 3 against Verlander, hit with his first hit. He's a leadoff base runner of the night.
A lot of talk about Colin McHugh and the potential all-star bid. His numbers show you that he deserves that bid. 159 batting average against, 40 innings in that .90 ERA. Kinsler was with the Twins, closing out with them, but Andrew Miller's a guy who throws multiple innings in the middle part of the ball game, and that's very similar to what Colin McHugh has been doing for the Houston Astros this season, putting up great numbers.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, Colin's not in a role that normally gets a lot of attention, but it's hard to argue with those numbers. 3 brilliant innings last night of one-hit baseball, allowing the Astros to win that game and have a mini sweep of the Rangers.
Joe Musgrove. It's good to see Joe chiming in.
Twitter's been a little bit more alive with the Colin McHugh All-Star chatter ever since that last road trip. Here's a ball popped into center field. Jake Marisnick will have an easy play. Smith able to get Garcia on the 2-0 pitch, and now the Seattle's 14-game hitting streak is in danger. 1 away in the 9th. I'll bring up Daniel Palka, who is glad he doesn't have to face Justin Verlander anymore. The rookie was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against JV tonight. Verlander pitched 7. He left the game tied at 2. Chris Davinsky pitched the 8th, allowed a solo home run to Leury Garcia. And now Joe Smith in the 9th, down 3-2. Called strike. Astros back to an 8-man bullpen, which is where they've been most of the season. But when Smith was on the DL, and went to a 7-man pen for a little while. Sharply hits the mound. Bregman, the shortstop, makes the play and turns 2. Alex Bregman, a nice job defensively. Could he possibly be the hero offensively in the bottom half?
Nice athletic play from Alex Bregman to get to the bottom of the 9th.
Louisiana, July is your month to show your spirit. Use the hashtag UltimateSWFanLA on Twitter to show us, and you can win a jersey and a VIP experience. So tweet now and win big. 3 walk-offs in the last homestand as the Astros were able to pull off a little ninth inning magic. And tonight they will face the closer for the White Sox, Joakim Soria.
Soria's got some of his velocity back, and the changeup has been a good pitch for him over the years. So with the added velocity, it makes that changeup a little bit better. But averaging 92 to 94 on that fastball, the curveball, slider, and the split.
He will face a pinch hitter to start this inning. Tony Kemp will hit for Max Stassi. Marwin Gonzalez has grabbed the bat. He's on deck as well to hit for Jake Marisnick as Soria delivers a strike. Kemp with his 20th career pinch hitting appearance, 4 for 19 so far, batting .301 on the year, and facing Soria for the first time. Soria, the most rested of these White Sox relievers. The closer hasn't had a chance to save many games as they've lost 5 out of 7. And their 2 wins were a 5-run win and an extra inning win. Out of the plate, Kemp down on the count 1-2. Plummer, as mentioned, though, he has the newfound velocity to go with that changeup, and a scoreless streak going right now of 15 straight. And has converted 8 saves during that stretch. 15 and a third inning scoreless. Kemp does not chase the fastball up. It's 2-2.
Good job laying off that. And we've talked about it a lot throughout the course of the season. Sometimes that high fastball is for effect. Typically, you back up a pitch up in the zone with something down.
Soria has the highest chase percentage of any of the relievers for the White Sox. No chase there, and the count's full on Kemp. Seen Tony steal some bags this year at the AAA level and also up here at the big league level, so a walk will mean Soria could be very concerned with him at first. Outside ball 4, Kemp draws the walk. 8th walk issued by White Sox pitching tonight.
Eventually, one of those walks is going to come around to score, you would hope.
Marwin has faced Soria 5 times in his career, still looking for his first hit against this reliever. Marwin will pinch hit for Jake Marisnick. Strike is called. Marwin with all his home runs on the season as a left-handed hitter. Gonzalez down the count 0-2. Marwin's been playing a lot of shortstop with Carlos Correa on the DL. Coming off a 2 for 21 road trip, Marwin would love to get that turned around in the first game of a long homestand right here.
a little looper, base hit. Kemp's going to go first to third. Garcia has no play. Astros in business. Runners on the corners. Nobody out.
Attaboy, Marwin. That's a split that stayed in the zone for Marwin. It is off the end of the bat, did break the bat, but it's going to go down to Hero because he's on base, and that tying run is now a third. Great hustle by Tony Kemp. He is definitely giving you an idea that he is a valuable resource for A.J. Hinch, whether he's in the lineup or coming off the bench. Puts together a great at-bat. And anytime that leadoff man gets on in a tight ball game, it frustrates that closer.
Springer, first pitch, swinging, fouls one back. The White Sox are deep in the middle of the infield. So a ground ball towards the middle, they will concede the tying run in this game. With the attempt to try and turn two, the corners will come home on a ground ball. With a base hit on an 0-2 pitch, putting the tying run on third and the winning run on first.
Baseball, I've talked about it a lot, can be a game of redemption, and George has an opportunity right here to leave a mark on this game.
Out of the screen, 1-2.
No matter how bad you've been struggling, sometimes getting into these situations where you've got to narrow that focus a little bit can help you out. Knowing that you have an opportunity with one swing of the bat to do some good things in front of the home fans.
George 0 for 4 tonight, retired on a fine play by Anderson his last time up. Now the infield comes in on this 1-2 pitch. They were back in double play depth in the middle, and now everybody in on the infield. Ball into left center field, falling quickly. Engel won't get there. Base hit. Tie game. George Springer ties it at 3. That had to feel as good as any base hit he's had all year, including long home runs.
It's not one he's probably going to go back and watch on a highlight reel, but he knows inside his heart that's a good feeling. It's a great job by Tony Kemp, too, tagging up just in case. Engel is a guy who has a lot of range, and we've seen a lot of smiles from George. But that is a very welcome sight.
Guess who the hitter is now? Mr. Walk-Off himself, Alex Bregman. 2 on, nobody out. Bregman watches one wide.
Yeah, there's no way you're comfortable if you're in that Chicago White Sox dugout.
First run scored against Joakim Soria in his last 16 appearances. Bregman has 3 walk-offs this year, 3 of the 4. And also the last run of 2017, you might remember as well. This guy loves the moment, Alex Bregman.
And I love the fact that he embraces it. As a hitter, you've got to go up there and recognize you've got an opportunity. Embrace those fans cheering behind you.
Walk to Kemp. Marwin a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Springer a base hit on a 1-2 pitch. Now Bregman with a hitter's count, 2-0.
for a guy who understands the moment and wants the moment, he still does a great job of laying off pitches out of the zone. That's tough to do in some of these high leverage, high intensity type situations where you want to be the hero. Still showing incredible patience.
Foul ball headed out of play.
This is what we are referring to. That was the last one of 2017. Game 5 of that epic roller coaster. And then it was that last homestand off Sergio Romo. Then he got himself a fastball up and in and absolutely obliterated that one into the seats of the Crawford box. Looking to add to that highlight reel.
Slow breaking ball.
Man.
Felt like he was waiting for that for an extra beat. He swung and missed. It's 2-2.
Yeah, Soria averages 78 miles an hour on that slider, but that was a little bit extra taken off that one.
Go as slow as a 70 average on his curveball too. 22-mile-an-hour difference between his fastball and his slowest breaking ball. Fastball fouled back to the screen.
Kind of an interesting alignment. This is your third baseman, Gilmer Sanchez, playing over. Usually that's a position a step away from that third base line where you play no doubles. A lot of base hits will be given up in that 5.5 hole that we talk about. You almost like to see them pinch that area a little bit. The left fielder is playing relatively deep. I still think Marwin's able to beat that throw home.
Palka has a strong arm in left, but it is erratic. 3-2, Soria.
Wow, that's an interesting finish.
Is that his reaction to the call, or that's how he finished?
Maybe that landing leg gave out on him a little bit. Recoiled.
Many have stayed on this Thursday night. 34,955 in attendance.
You can't leave on these guys.
And they are looking for some more Bregman walk-off magic. Ball 4, the bases are loaded with nobody out. And the reigning AL MVP due. For this night, Bregman was satisfied passing the baton.
They're not going to expand to try and do damage. He's going to let the guy do it behind him. Jose Altuve earlier in this ball game got a fastball on the inside third and punished it off the railroad tracks. Doesn't need to quite do that much, even though it would look good on the highlight reel. Simple base hit right here puts this game away. Jumping to catch A.J. Hinch talking to the base runners at first and second. Telling them, be careful out there, extend that lead, try and break up a double play or potential outs in front of them, but they're meaningless right now. The entire focus of the Chicago White Sox is on that runner at third base. Runners at second and third are meaningless.
Infield in. Chance of MVP. Reigning throughout Minute Maid Park. Outfield in shallow as well. Ball 1. Altuve has faced Soria 5 times. He has a sacrifice fly and a double. 1 for 5. He's looking for a deep enough fly ball here. Or hit number 117 on the season. We'll take either one.
Infield in, the outfield playing extremely shallow.
Tip 1-2. Astros had one walk-off in every series in the last homestand. We showed you the two from Bregman getting the Rays and the Blue Jays. Carlos Correa also walked one off against the Royals in the 12th inning. Altuve looking for his first walk-off of the season. 2-2. Altuve can't get the job done. Yuli Gurriel, who leads all of baseball in hitting with runners in scoring position, waits on deck. Able to get a big strikeout for the first out.
Sliders have been an issue for Jose Altuve. Saw him swinging a couple out there in that Tampa Bay series. Saw him chase right here in a big spot.
Now Yuli coming in batting .412 with runners in scoring position, the best in the American League. Bases loaded, one out.
Same defensive configuration. Infield in, outfield in.
Right.
Pitches on that right arm.
There's a base hit into right field. Astros win 4-3. Yuli Gurriel wins the game.
Just had a feeling it was eventually going to happen. They create so much traffic out there, whether it be a walk, base hit, but just continually put pressure on the opposing pitcher, especially late in games.
Fourth consecutive series at home that the Astros have a walk-off victory. They had 3 in the last homestand, and now they get one to start this 11-game homestand. Yuli, the king with runners in scoring position, gets the job done. Julia, take it away.
Thanks a lot. George is celebrating here. I said La Pina, and you said he gets it done. Do you have any doubt in your mind there in that situation with the guys coming up that you guys are going to get the winning one across?
Here it comes. We're celebrating the fact that I got a hit. No, you know, I mean, with Jose and Uriel, especially Evan, you know, I didn't have a doubt in my mind. I mean, that's a heck of an AB right there by Kemp and Marwin, and then Braggs with a huge walk. It's a good team win for us.
You said celebrating a hit, but it's such a big one tonight. Thank you, Gene, for the assist there. In tying up this game, what are you trying to do in that event?
Just trying to hit the guy in from third. You know, I understand that things haven't been going great and all that good stuff, but you know, you're always one at bat away, and the guy on the third base right there, I had to get him in, you know, whether that was a bloop, a blast, you know, a hit, you know, I understand that I got to get him in right there, and I was able to.
You look straight into the dugout, though, a big smile on your face. You know your teammates have your back. What is it like to have that support?
It's awesome. You know, I think, you know, our team's a family, and you know, we play for each other, we play for one another, and we all have our backs.
Noah, it's always fun to play at home, and you've got a long stretch here, but this is one way to kick it off, and Justin Verlander on the mound. What about just this win for you guys tonight?
It's huge, you know, for us to come, you know, to have the lead, and then to come back off a good team over there. You know, those guys play hard, they don't quit, and you know, they can score runs. So, you know, for us to get the first game is big.
Congratulations, George.
Thank you.
Go dry off. Yeah. George Springer tying up this one, and eventually it is won with a Yuli walk-off hit. Don't go anywhere. Todd Callis will be right back.